Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Today I have a very interesting episode for you. Interesting because long ago, way back in 1990s, early 90s, when I just started working, I had this boss of mine. He was a genius, a marketing genius. He was a brilliant marketing person. I had the privilege of learning a lot under him. He used to always say that if you have to understand a market situation, if you have to understand a market, you need to identify certain situations, certain incidents that happens in the market which gives you a insight into the entire market. Those fractures gives you an insight to the entire market and you can understand exactly what is going right or wrong with the brand. So if you deep dive into one incident and go right into the center of it, you will understand the future of the brand and you will understand what are the problems with the brand or the product. I remember that and I have taken that advice very seriously and it has helped me a lot during my advertising and marketing career. You see, a national spokesperson of Congress, Mr. Sanjay Jha, was dropped as the spokesperson by the AICC under the instructions of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the Congress president. Now, the person was sacked is because he went out and he registered his displeasure or what he felt was not right about Congress. He went out and registered. A lot of things he said actually made sense too. But Congress, other than talking to him, dropped him. Congress point of view was, listen, you are a spokesperson, you're a national spokesperson, how can you go out in national media and talk ill about the party? You should have come and spoken to us. Why are you going to media and talking about it? Sanjay Jha's version was that, listen, I tried talking to you, you're not listening to me, what do I do? End of the day, I need this to be repaired in the party. So I spoke. Today, I took this as an opportunity to try and figure out what is exactly happening in Congress. What is exactly going right or wrong in Congress? So we spoke to him. Next 25 minutes is that interview. I think you'll find it interesting. Let's get right into the show. Sanjay Jha, thank you for joining me on Editorial. So, sir,
My pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Sanjay, you criticized Congress leadership. They dropped you as AICC spokesperson. Sanjay, my first question to you is, what exactly do you mean by Congress leadership?
Sujit, I love the fact that you don't waste any time and you go for the bottom line right away. Let me answer you in brief. I actually have mentioned that it is the Congress as an organization that needs a renewal, a reinvigoration. You know why I have been sacked? I've been sacked for actually writing that India needs a revitalized and a renewed Congress to fight its second freedom struggle and take on the dark oppressive forces. I've been sacked for writing that. As to why they have sacked me for actually giving a constructive suggestion and expressing the angst, anguish, and apprehensions of a genuine congressman. I'm a congressman by DNA. I also want to tell you on your program, I'm very fond of your channel, that I think I'm more of a congressman than probably 99% of the people who are sitting in Delhi. And therefore, I have no problem in calling a spade, and I have no fears either. If giving suggestions to your party to make it stronger, fitter, ready for a bigger and tougher challenge against Mr. Modi's BJP, which is like a brilliant, kinetic, hungry machine. I don't know how is that going to be treated like a
I'll come to
cardinal
that.
sin. So
I'll
my
come to
fight to make Congress stronger will continue.
I'll come to that. I'll come to Mr. Modi and BJP. But again, I want to repeat my question, Sanjay, because I have not got my answer. What exactly, according to you, is Congress leadership? Who is Congress leadership?
Well, the Congress leadership is pretty apparent, isn't it? It is the president of the party and the Congress Working Committee. Now, I would not mention, it is such a gigantic party. It's a huge organization. Please remember that the Congress Party not only fought for India's freedom struggle, it's governed India for the 73 years and has done, in my opinion, an outstanding job in some areas, could do better in others, but that's pretty much expected for a country that was recovering after the massive partition problems and a newly independent democracy. But the truth is, Sujit, that when I say Congress leadership, I'm talking about the fact that there are people at the top who have apparently a lot of political experience and they understand statecraft. They
Sanjay,
understand both the,
Sanjay, Sanjay, who took the decision to make Gehlot the Chief Minister of Rajasthan? Who took the decision to make Kamal Nath the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh? Was it a complete community called Congress, or was it one or two individuals?
Well, let me tell you this. I'm not privy to who, as an
No,
individual,
but
took
I'm
a
sure you are
decision.
a senior leader
But the
and you are a very
party,
intelligent man, Sanjay. So I know that you know the answer. Who took the decision? Who takes this decision?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Congress, if you look at the Congress's history, democracy is meant to be in its basic, intrinsic, inherent constitution. Uh, you are right in asking me this question, highly pertinent. Have we become very centralized in power? Yes, I do believe that. And, one of the reasons why I believe we need to worry is because Pandit Nehru went on record to caution himself, and I wrote that in my article, saying that please do not centralize power and become dictatorial and autocratic. I believe Congress has drifted away from the Nehruvian thought. Pandit Nehru was a statesman who basically shepherded the country through its most difficult times, but never allowed either internal democracy or India's constitutional freedom to be ever compromised. The fact that the Congress party today appears to be in the control of a very few people. I don't want to name them. There is a lot of speculation. I don't know who they are,
Sanjay,
but I do know
can I
there's a very
can I name
close
them? Can I name them?
coterie
Are
of
we
people.
talking about Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi? And Sanjay, I completely appreciate the fact that you're doing it for the benefit of the party, and I completely appreciate the fact that you're doing for the benefit of the country, because you need a strong opposition. So can I conclude in this program
Yeah.
that we are talking about Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi here? Can we say that?
Sujit, I must tell you, you're an absolutely brilliant anchor. I love the way you're cornering me into making that submission.
No, I'm
I
not.
would like to make a point here that no, no. Let me elaborate.
Please,
I
I'm
do
sorry.
believe, yes, I'm a big believer in it. I've been held responsible positions in different companies in my life, and I do agree with you that the buck stops at the top. This whole thing about collective responsibility is great in a democracy. It ought to be. But ultimately, the leader takes the call, whoever the leader is, whether it's a prime minister, head of a party, a CEO of a company, and you in your TV channel. You can't say tomorrow that I got bad advice. Ultimately, you're the one who signs, puts a pen to paper. So I would agree. Like, for example, if I've been, terminated as a Congress spokesperson, the decision has come from the Congress president. I'm not going to speculate as to who engineered it or what was the
Correct.
petty parochial politics behind it. That is irrelevant. So I agree with you that ultimately it is worrying because the Gandhis have made a legendary contribution to the party in the country, and today their name is being besmirched and damaged. And I think at the end of the day, they need to also kind of recognize that this party is much greater than any individual in the Congress. And end of day, we are talking about India's future. And
Correct.
that's the reason why I wrote those articles. I've actually
Correct.
batted for the Congress. I have not tried to actually be very critical of it.
You have. I completely agree to that. So technically what you're saying is that Gandhi has to be mindful that Congress does not mean Gandhis. Congress means more than Gandhi. There are a lot of other people who should be part of decision-making process. That is what you were saying. Absolutely agreed. Now can I ask you a question from the other side? Let's flip this entire conversation. Isn't the organization itself behaving the way, isn't the organization giving extra impetus to the Gandhis? How do you only blame the Gandhis for it? You're not blaming the Gandhis. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. I do believe this is the problem. This is one of the reasons why I wrote in my first article in the Times of India that the elephant in the room, Sujit, is the fact that the Congress party does not have a defined leader till 2024 and beyond. I mean, Mr. Gandhi resigned. He took, the moral position that, or the stand that he needed to quit after the disastrous performance of the Congress party in the 2019 and the 14 election. And I appreciate and applaud him for that. What bothers me, or what I'm dismayed about, seriously, is the fact that after he quit, and he said it not once but several times, don't waste your time coming to me, select a new leader. The Congress Working Committee did not, frankly speaking, even get enough people who would have demonstrated their intent and interest to take a stewardship of the party in the most difficult of times. And I think that is where the flaw is. You had Mrs. Gandhi becoming the interim Congress president, but interim also has a limited time period, right? And she took it under extreme pressure. Now, I think this is where the Congress is letting down not itself alone, but the country at large, because India needs a dynamic, India needs an energized, an opposition party that is constantly questioning the government constructively, maybe even politically. But today, that space, that vacuum is only widening by the day. Today, we don't know who's the Congress leader. I mean, this is the reason why the Congress, in my opinion, is meandering and is, to a lot of people, we are moribund despite everything that we are apparently saying on social media and television. And therefore, I agree with you that this continued, abeyance in putting a political leader in place is going to damage the Congress, not just in the short term, but it'll create a very poor reputation for us for being lethargic, for being sloppy, for not showing any sense of urgency to take India forward.
Sanjay, Congress doesn't have a leader today. Okay, except for Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, whatever the leadership is, but Congress doesn't have a leader. What is the reason that Congress doesn't have an option? Is it the Gandhis that has to be blamed because Congress doesn't have an option? Or is it the fact that no other leader wants to come up and lead Congress? What exactly is the reason for it?
A short answer, the Congress has enough alternatives. I have maintained the party has outstanding talent. There are obviously, in my opinion, brilliant leaders who can take the Congress forward.
Can you
there
name
can be
one?
an excellent Congress
just
president.
For discussion, can you name one? Just for the discussion sake, we'll name one so that we can take it further.
No, listen, I don't want to get into names because I don't want to prejudge whether they are actually interested or not. But I can give you a couple of points here very categorically. You need a Congress president, number one, who has got a hunger to win. You cannot take defeat in your stride. You got to be agitated. You got to be angry. You got to say, why did I lose? How do I need to come back? So you need a hunger to win. You need people who are absolutely driven by understanding how organizations need to be revamped, who understand structures, who know how to actually get the best potential and harness that collective talent and energy. So you need somebody who understands organizational restructuring. You need to understand what are my grassroots going to be like, connect with the people, be accessible. You've got to be a leader who is actually someone whom people can call and meet, at your earliest convenience. But you're in touch with people using technology, physical visits, interviews, whatever you like to do. You need somebody pan-India leader, not sitting in Delhi. I'm sorry, but this country is vast, complex, it's beautiful, it's diverse. We speak different languages, we speak, in remarkably various cultures. And here we are allowing ourselves to become a monochromatic Delhi-based party. You need somebody who can speak on foreign policy, national security, economy, defense, communal politics in this country, constitutional democracy. So you need a combination of erudition, practical intelligence, pragmatic vision. But I will tell you one thing, Sujit, Congress needs a leader who wants to win. We need hunger, and we need that desperately.
Sanjay, sorry to interrupt you, but Sanjay, this is a best case scenario. Show me one leader that fits this description. Right. One leader that fits this description. Forget it. Sanjay, let's make this easier.
Well,
show me one leader who can call for a public meeting and without paying money and resources, gather 25,000 people for that public meeting in Congress. Can you name one leader?
Well, let me tell you, I can actually name for you a dozen.
Please,
this is the whole unfortunate perception.
Let's start with one.
No, Sujit, let me answer you. The unfortunate perception that the Congress party has created over years And to a great extent, yes, the Gandhis have massive political brand. They will, and Mr. Gandhi himself, although many people have criticized him and maligned him, he continues to be a big draw. I mean, it's not, you can't ignore the fact that Mr. Gandhi would spontaneously draw a lot of people. But let me answer your question, bang on. See, the fact of the matter, Sujit, is that there are many state leaders who are extremely popular in the territories that they occupy. For example, let me give you names. Until Jyotiraditya was there, he was a big draw in Madhya Pradesh. Sachin
No,
Pilot draws huge
sorry,
crowds
sorry,
in
Sanjay,
Rajasthan.
Sanjay, not in Madhya Pradesh, in
Hear me out.
Gwalior,
Hear me out.
in Gwalior, in his own territory, in Chambal, three territories, not in Madhya Pradesh. Because had he been that popular in Madhya Pradesh, he would have been the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh. Fair
Well, let's
point.
not get into all those nitty gritties. I'm just giving you a couple of examples.
Okay.
Jyotiraditya, hugely popular in Madhya Pradesh. Sachin Pilot single-handedly brought the Congress back in Rajasthan after we were wiped out. And I know how brilliant a job he's done in Rajasthan. You watch even Sashi Tharoor in his own constituency in Kerala, where that is the only constituency where the BJP actually has a huge advantage, and he continues to actually hold his fort remarkably well, extremely popular. You have Captain Amrinder Singh in Punjab, and you have Bhupesh Baghel in Chhattisgarh, and you have enough talent out there who can actually draw people on their own rights. And I do believe that this is not the time for us to, kind of just say one leader over the other. The most important thing is that you need a leader who's willing to shoulder the responsibility. It's not going to be an easy one. Nobody says that you become Congress president and tomorrow you're going to thrash the BJP in state elections and get 400 seats in 2024. That you bring in a new blood, you bring in the dynamism. I think it can really move forward. Now, since Mr. Gandhi has said he doesn't want to come back, I think it's a terrible flaw and a fault line within a party that we are delaying the inevitable.
Correct, absolutely. Sanjay, I wanted to kind of take you to a case study. You see, in 2009, there was this chief minister from Gujarat who had a huge baggage of Godra and a lot of baggage with him, who decided he wants to be the Prime Minister of India in 2009. From 2009, now mind you, BJP already had a very strong leadership in LK Advani, in Murli Manohar Joshi, all active in 2009. This man from 2009 started building his brand, hired international agencies to build his brand, is what I am told. So hired international agencies to build his brand, and in 2012, he challenged the leadership and he said that I want to be the Prime Minister. What I'm trying to say is there was a clear, defined path that a man drew for himself to become the leader of a national party, challenged the leadership, and became the leader of the national party, and today he is what he is. Okay. What my question to you and Sanjay, from a very fair perspective, I don't want to nitpick and all that. That's not my intention. No. I'm sure you know it. Show me one person in Congress. 2024 is the next election. Show me one person who is striving to be the next leader. Every person I spoke to, Sanjay, tells me, oh, Congress mein, there's no, we cannot, there's Gandhis are over imposing. You see, they're overwhelming. There is no democracy. There is no election. Most of the people speaks about election. You tell me, who is that one leader who is doing what possibly Narendra Modi did in 2009 to become the Prime Minister of 2014? Who is that one leader in Congress? That's my question to you.
Well, Sujit, to start with, I have been very critical of Mr. Modi's ideology in politics, but I do admire, and I don't hold any grudge against the fact that Mr. Modi has had his political roadmap constructed in his mind a long time ago. And in politics, it's not a crime to be ambitious. In fact, that is one of the essential ingredients by which people actually, kind of take up responsibility and fashion the destiny of the country as they deem fit. And I'm hoping that every politician has the good of the country and its people in mind. So I definitely believe that Mr. Modi's hunger, his attitude, the fact that he works very hard, he's not a young man, right? But I truly admire the way he works hard. He's relentless. He fights back. He changes the narrative. Now, he's got the skills and the expertise, and I'm sure he's worked very hard at it. I agree with you that the Congress party needs to put its talent out there. One of the biggest tragedies of the party of the last, I would say, over a decade has been that, nobody is aware of the wonderful new new and energized people within the Congress. Many of them, by the way, don't have to be young alone. You can be middle aged, you can even be a veteran, because in politics, experience only makes you better. So it's
Correct.
not as if being old is a liability, etc. I don't believe that.
Correct.
But I do believe critically, Sujit, that the Congress party now needs to open its doors, invite people. You know what I have recommended? Now that Mr. Gandhi said he's not coming back, and he himself insisted that it should be a non Gandhi leader who should take the party forward, this is the time for the CWC, which I believe also needs to be an elected body in the future, like the Congress president. It should say who are the people in the Congress who want to contest for the Congress president, and let's hold a transparent election and let somebody win. And I'm sure the Congress party will find a great candidate. I'm very bullish on that.
Sanjay, at one level, the Congress party has to do it. Perfect. I completely agree to you. But at another level, the Congress leaders too also have to do it. Because one, closer to home, in Maharashtra, one didn't find much of enthusiasm during the 2019 general elections from the Maharashtra leaders. One didn't find much of enthusiasm even in the 2019 Lok Sabha assembly elections from the Congress leaders. Okay, so somewhere down the line, don't you think that while the Congress party has to do a lot of things, of course it has to do a lot of things, but even the Congress leaders cannot just sit back and say, okay, Modi is not allowing me to do this, Gandhi is not allowing me to do this. This is all that one hears from Congress leadership. Congress leaders, not leadership. I'm sorry, I will not use the word leadership. Leaders. Do you agree to that?
Well, I can tell you it's very easy, right? This is the problem. A lot of Congress leaders are very happy with the status quo because they protect their own, whatever limited bastions. And the blame for anything that goes wrong in the Congress party can be conveniently passed on to the Gandhis. And I think the Gandhis actually, in my opinion, by delaying a decision on this aspect, are just harming their own political capital because, end of day, this is the way, politics is all over the world. You question whoever is the leader. And I honestly believe that, there is absolutely no sense in having a powerful body like the CWC that is not able to engineer the party's future. I'll give you two examples. We lost Karnataka, which was our state immediately after we lost Lok Sabha elections. It's a big state. We lost Madhya Pradesh after not having it for 15 years within a year and a half. I mean, these are bizarre developments because, I used to proudly go on TV channels, Sujit, and tell people we may have lost Delhi, but if you look at the state map of India, the Congress is dominating. There's no saffron there. And suddenly Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh going saffron, and suddenly the whole, the entire, shall we say, perception becomes so anti the Congress and pro the BJP. I mean, these are disastrous political intelligence at play. I mean, the Congress cannot be a political party, where it's basically buried its head like the ostrich in the sand.
Sanjay, three things that you would like Congress to do. Three changes that you would like to bring about in Congress.
Okay, number one, I would like the position of the CWC members and the Congress president to be held in a free and fair election in a fully transparent manner. This will build confidence across the length and breadth of India and galvanize our workers that our voice is being heard. Number two, I would like the AICC to be restructured, and instead of the Congress president dealing with multiple, leaders who manage states, like there are 29 states in India and the union territories and so on, I would like the Congress to actually decentralize, and the Congress president should be supported by 5 regional vice presidents: a regional vice president north, a regional vice president south, west, east, and one in the northeast. There are 7 states out there. We should always give it a lot more sensitivity. Number 3, I would like the Congress party to now put in its constitution, okay, that no Congress president will continue in his job beyond 3 years, and a maximum renewal of another 3 years. So maybe 6 years. 6 years max. Even if you have made the party win a general election, it doesn't matter. Make way for new people to come in. So in 30 years, we should have minimum 5 Congress presidents, if not 10. This is how you will actually create, ambition, hunger, drive, energy, dynamism. This is what Pandit Nehru, and I'm a big Nehruvian, by the way, in my philosophy and thinking, or Mahatma Gandhi, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Patel. These were the visionaries who really considered India and the Congress to be a party of this foundation and character. We have drifted away from that, and we need to change that. Can I add one more point with your permission?
Five. Take two more.
Yeah, so I'll take two more. I would like the Congress party to make all its funds received from whoever, particularly corporates, maybe defining a minimum threshold limit, make all your fundraising transparent. If you get money from any corporate in India or if it's permitted even from abroad, please disclose your funds, because this is how the party will actually go and raise money in the retail route. That's how you'll increase your membership. Ask for $100, $200. Nowadays people have Aadhaar. You can have these handheld devices where you can give people a receipt, make them members online. Get going, go for a retail subscription route. And last but not the least, and I've been saying that from the rooftops, but obviously, as you know, nobody hears me in the Congress, create a shadow cabinet. Have a shadow minister for finance, officially announce it. Kind of Mr. Whoever is a Congress president can go and make a formal press conference announcement. He is going to be our finance minister. He's going to be our defense minister. He's going to be our home minister. He's going to be our agriculture minister. You don't need 100 portfolio. You need the top 10 or 12.
Correct.
And give them the shadow minister profile. It's like a government in waiting. And they are then able to talk to the media. They question the minister. You actually go to the people of India saying, this is my alternative government in abeyance. And, vote for us because we are not going to let the government have a, easy cakewalk. Now, these are not difficult things to do. Sujit, I'm telling you, all these things can be implemented. Forget months. It can be done within weeks if we have the political intent. And therefore, somebody like me has been pretty upset and agitated. And I'll continue to fight for the Congress because I'm by DNA, I'm a Congressy guy. You can see my new Twitter description. I'm by nature, by my character, I'm secular, I'm liberal, I'm progressive, I'm tolerant, and I believe in inclusive growth. So I will always fight for the Congress party, no matter what they think of me.
Have you seen Mr. Amit Shah's tweet today?
I believe he said something about the fact that the Congress continues to be highly dictatorial on.
Absolutely. So, is that a hint to you or something? Are you? Is this a hint to Sanjay Jha?
No, I don't think so. I think Mr. Shah and Mr. Modi are aware that I am diametrically opposed to their ideology in politics. But I do believe in politics there should be no bad blood. I've been critical of Mr. Modi. The BJP has trolled me, but this is politics, and there's nothing gets personal here. I have a lot. I will tell you on your channel. No matter how much I oppose Mr. Shah and Modi, and I've said so. This in private. I have said so to my Congress friends. Let's learn something from them. They are so hardworking, Sujit. Mr.
Yes.
Modi and Mr. Shah travel the country. They burn the midnight oil. They're ambitious. They set goals. They may not succeed all the time. But, I am very inspired by their ability to work hard. And I believe that is an work ethic that basically defines you as a personality, right? No matter how intelligent you may be or I may be, we will never succeed until there is effort. And I think on that, you cannot fault Mr. Modi and Shah. And I need to be honest, I really admire them for the way they work hard. It's quite extraordinary.
My last question to you, and honest, Sanjay, as on today,
Sure.
tomorrow things may change. As on today, do you think that Congress will resurrect?
Oh, I'm very confident. You see, it's Sujit, this is why I've been writing these pieces. The whole perception that this party is like so closely held that it doesn't have energy or enthusiasm or the kind of drive required to succeed is totally, I think, in my opinion, a misplaced notion. But you know why that has got cemented? Because the party has actually encouraged that perception that everything happens in the Delhi high command culture. And the fact that our senior leaders have actually perpetuated this mystery is because it has suited them. I actually felt so sad when I meet Congress leaders at Mumbai or different parts of the country when we were traveling pre-coronavirus days. The ordinary Congress Karyakarta, he puts his blood, tears, toil and sweat for what? They give up their jobs. They don't spend time with their families. They campaign relentlessly. They get no money from the party. But they want the Congress to do well because they are somewhere, kind of glued into our history, ideology and our people. How are we letting them down? I've said so in my article, which I wrote the other day. The Congress Karyakarta, Sujit, works 100 times harder than some of our leaders who sit in Delhi and occupy some of the biggest fanciful bungalows in Lutyens.
The best thing you wrote, the best thing you said, the best thing you said is most of the Congress leaders believe that they are going to come back in 2024. That's possibly one of the best introspective analysis that anybody did in the recent past. Because what you said is absolutely correct. Most of, even we felt that way. Most of the Congress leaders feel that they will come back, and most of your Congress leaders still feel that they are ministers. They have still not accepted the fact that they are no longer in power, and possibly most of them not even relevant. So absolutely correct, Sanjay. Absolutely correct. I really appreciate what you said today, and thank you so much for coming on my show. And we will see what happens in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sujit. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you very much indeed.
So that was Sanjay Jha for you, and this is what he felt. Two things came very clearly, that it is no longer the leadership and all. He is purely putting the blame on the doorstep of the Gandhis, that is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. And he feels that Congress should also have a life beyond the Gandhis. Let me know what your comments are. Please do write down your comments. Till we meet next time. Namaskar.